Women are addicted to drama. So as a man, it's your job to instill a little bit of drama in the relationship to keep it interesting. Because if you don't, she'll bring the drama. But if I bring the drama, I control it. So if I have to fuck a bitch to keep you happy, I'm a good man.
The whole time I was seeing him, I was kind of just using it as a psychology experiment, and I didn't really like the guy. I more just wanted to see if I could break his heart. And it was fun.
So did you break his heart then?
Just a wee bit. I hope I did a little damage.
Wow. Okay. Why do you hope that you did a little damage?
I like humbling men.
You like humbling men?
Yeah. It's like my pastime.
Your pastime is humbling men?
Mm-hmm.
You do work at a strip club, so do you humble men there?
No, I take their money.
Welcome, my friends, to the RP Experience. Peace and love to my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so that you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is going to be a look at how supervillains are made. Maybe not exactly supervillains, but to play with it a little bit. And I'm not going to go into everybody's history of why they are how they are. And this is not to make excuses for people that are being either hurtful, toxic, or saying certain things online that's getting a reaction out of people. But I always believe that people do not wake up one day and start becoming a certain kind of way, whether they were good or bad. Some people, when they was younger, they were maybe small, young, and their parents, their experiences with their parents or with their growing environment helped shape the person that they eventually became, whether it was good or bad. And that goes for both men and women. Now, while there are videos of women saying very hateful things about men, like, I hate all men are trash and stuff. And that would spark a reaction out of me, because I'm like, why are you blaming all men for the actions of a few that have been in your life? And a lot of people do this. Men do this too. But what prevents men a lot of times is the fact that we are accountable usually of our actions, not all the time. But those of us that have been raised with a certain amount of structure will tend to look at ourselves first. So we won't always go there to that degree. But there's one thing that will always override and push a man totally into that side. And that usually can be a woman. It's not men, whereas men may cause a man to rise up, to become successful, to prove them wrong, that this can be done, or I can be this or that, or a success. There's usually women out there that have, or females out there that has destroyed a guy, and sometimes usually just one, and he will then go on some type of villain arc. And this happens to women too, with guys that they love, you know. And regretfully, sometimes it happens because of their dad, you know. The one guy that they definitely should be able to trust when they are young. So this goes on both sides right here. I have one video I'm going to share first, and then we're going to get to the main thing.
You think I care? I don't care anymore.
Quit hitting me.
I've lost my mind.
Quit hitting me.
Give a fuck. Give a fuck.
Cool, you don't need to give a fuck. That's cool. I got video proof of you doing this. You're crazy, bro. You're crazy. Let me leave. You have me blocked in. Let me leave. You're kidnapping me. Let me leave. Leave me alone. Let me leave.
Wow. Now, she definitely turned into a supervillain there. And I'm going to look at this objectively. Now, of course, she is wrong for being physical, keying his property, his car, and obstructed him from leaving. Now, of course, though, I've been in situations like this myself. Now, why is she doing this? He probably cheated, or she thought that he was cheating. It could have been something innocent, like a girl texting him and stuff like that. I mean, I've been in situations that, I just had a conversation with another woman, and then it could blow up. Not necessarily like that, but depending on if it was accumulation of things, whether it was a liking a girl's post, not a bikini pic, liking a girl's post, talking to a girl, doing a favor, and then something else happened, it could explode like this. Now, this does not excuse her behavior right there. And obviously, she has some trauma of trust in her life that she should get some therapy for. And this sounds like an interracial relationship, because he sounds like he's black. He could have done something that's given her a excuse to behave like this. This does not excuse her behavior, but obviously he did something. So I'm just looking at this objectively, even if she misunderstood. I always believe when somebody does something, even if somebody snaps one day and go postal, if you look back into their history, there was some things, some other people involved that somewhat added to that snapping in their head. And whereas they should have got help, or either those people should have been a lot more kinder or something, that is how we got to here. So anyway, on to the main event right here. Once again, I'm not defending her actions because she's wrong, but I'm just saying she's acting like that for a reason. She just didn't wake up and then just start acting like that, even if she's wrong in her assumption.
Cheat and not get caught. Yes. Really? Yes. Really? Oh God. No more waffling. Let's just get to this. Begin.
Isn't it more fun to be bad? Isn't it more fun to be the victor than the victim? I think so. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite sins, greed. Not about money, not about possessions, but people. What do you do when you can't just settle for one man? You have to have many, many men.
Many, many men.
You have to have many, many men. Today, I'm going to teach you how to cheat and get away with it. What? But first, just want to remind you that if you want to talk to me privately one-on-one about anything evil,
Yeah, let's skip this.
here on the channel, usually we're talking about positivity, being a bad bitch, how to help other people. But like I said, sometimes that gets a little boring.
Being a bad bee, that word again.
Being a bad bitch,
This video is by Shalon Lester
being a bad bitch,
and it's from 2019, so it's over a year old. However, the thought has carried on. This
Yes, I know this is an old video that I saw like years ago, but I had to watch her full video to get full context here. So in her defense, to a degree, she does make this video on how women can cheat, but she does say at the end that you should not cheat. Let's continue.
year and will into next.
sometimes we have to indulge in the darker side of life, right? Because I know you guys are tired of getting manipulated. I hear it all the time. You're tired of getting cheated on. So is the answer to become the thing you fear and hate the most a cheater?
What?
It can be. I don't subscribe to that as an overall way to live your life, because here's the thing. I have cheated on a lot of people. I have. And cheating does something to you.
Oh wow, got problems.
It splits you into two different people. It does. Cognitive dissonance is a very powerful thing. Cognitive dissonance means being a bad bitch, the surroundings, like your circumstances, reality, does not align with what you not only think about yourself, your integrity and your values, but most importantly, what you want to be happening.
In other words, it's called women being delusional and thinking they're better than they are, thinking they have more options than they do, until they realize later on when times run out that, oh, no, you don't. You did then, many years ago, not now.
And it's very, very hard to be with one person and then have a side dude. And for the purposes of this video, we're going to call them mistresses, because it's very offensive that there's no like male name like misters. Like, what does that even mean?
It's called an F-boy, or a side dude like you just said, or an F-boy.
We're going to call side dudes mistresses, okay? Get on board. It's very difficult to be equally in love with both of them, right? There's going to be resentment on one side or the other, and that can be really torturous for your partner, as you guys have known from being cheated on. So let's say you don't want to be a cheater. Let's say you're starting to watch this video and you're like, I feel bad about myself. Okay. Watch anyway.
Exactly, women. Watch anyway. Pay attention. There's nothing wrong with cheating.
Being a bad bitch.
Having multiple men. Having your fun as a woman.
You have to have many, many men.
As a woman, you deserve it. Girls just want to have fun.
Many, many men.
But then you'd assume some women grow out of certain things. Yeah, you assume.
Because this is going to help you identify a cheater in your own life. Sometimes to catch a killer, we got to become a hunter ourselves. We got to like put on the cloak of evil and go inside as a mole and a spy to smoke out people and understand. Because good people don't catch bad people. Kind of bad people catch bad people.
She's right in a way. When I think of some of the people that are like super bank robbers or jewelry thief or hackers, regular people cannot catch them. It's only people that do what they do can catch them. So sometimes, I guess, getting the information from people that do cheat or do nefarious things, getting the information from them, you can better understand how to track a person that's doing that. Now, be aware, this video is not about cheating. This video is going to turn out how these supervillains are made, because she became the way that she became either by her parenting or some guys that she happened to fall in love with in her life. Now, that does not excuse her behavior, how she chose to treat people. I'm just pointing out that is the reason.
So in other words, become what you want. Become a garden tool to catch a garden tool. Same crap another day.
And sometimes that's who we got to be. So let's look at the giveaways for cheating, right? You have a shift. It's not only a shift in like schedule, it's a shift in behaviors, patterns, and most importantly, attitude. When I look back on people who've like cheated on me because
That's not funny, but it's not surprising either. Yeah, I kind of want to escape myself. Seriously.
you know, it happens in both directions. It's not like only I was the villain. It's not like only I was the victim. I've been on both sides. When I look back, it's like the hurtful thing about cheating is not even that like they stuck their dick in someone else. It's my ex-husband said this to me, like I didn't cheat on him, we didn't cheat on each other, but like we were just talking about it. And he's like, the bad thing about cheating is that it means you have been making decisions based on a reality that didn't actually exist.
As so many women do.
You have been making decisions based on a reality that didn't actually exist.
This is why it's fun. This is why women should turn up more. Keep living the delusion.
Just like a woman.
Men like myself watch and laugh and eat popcorn. This is why I love doing these videos. Calm down, balance. But, you know, it's an observation sort of thing. Like, I like to observe women and make sure that, you know, they're not doing anything that will harm themselves. Okay, I'm talking crap. I just love doing this.
And isn't that the truth? Because you look back after being cheated on, you're like, what a fool. You feel humiliated. You feel humiliated. And even though that's probably not your partner's intent, sometimes it is, though. Sometimes it is. That is the natural consequence. Because, right, sometimes people are just not great at monogamy. They're weak. They're horny. They need a shit ton of attention. They have a flaccid ego. They have poor coping mechanisms for being alone, being bored, being stressed, whatever. Many, many men.
But it sounds like a lot of women, doesn't it?
And sometimes people cheat to get your attention. So if people fall into the first category, poor coping skills, all that can be changed.
By the way, men, pay attention to the attention and the amount of times she said attention. Remember, she's speaking from a woman's point of view. Trash already, trash! The attention. Pay attention.
Changed. It can. You can work on that. You know, if you're cheating to like stick it to your partner, that's bad. You can do things that hurt me accidentally, but if you're doing things to hurt me purposely, there's no coming back from that.
Well, she's right on that. And I will admit with myself, I'm not a cheating person per se, but is one thing that will push me to be petty is when, and it's usually not if they didn't do something I didn't want them to do, or if they went out or something like that. But if I know or I have a feeling, and, you know, you can't always go by feelings, but, you know, I always say trust your gut. If the person you are dating, they're hanging out with somebody that you do not like, that you feel uncomfortable with them hanging out with, and they're still going to do it anyway, and maybe they used to have a relationship a long time ago, or you know that dude likes her, or either you know that dude likes, that girl likes your guy. Those are times that I would do something spiteful. Like I would probably, you know what, I'm going to hang out with a female friend of mine, you know, or some female friends. And, you know, I'm not looking for anything to happen, but to get my mind off the what she might be doing, I'm going to do that. And that's not, I know now that that's not the right thing to do, but do I break up with the person because I feel uncomfortable? I actually think, though, if a person is making you uncomfortable in a relationship and constantly doing things and okay, I do put this on myself. I didn't always say something was bothering me. I probably would give the body language, or either like, you know, that thing that women would say, like, I don't care, do whatever you want to do or something. Not meaning that, because I don't want to appear to be controlling. But however, though, she's doing things and she's probably hooking up, and then she's going to come to me later feeling bad, or either buy me a gift or something, you know, out of the blue. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm going to wonder if something has happened, you know.
No one is owed access to your stories, okay? And certainly not your boyfriend.
Bullshit.
Because look, you got to level with yourself. If you go out and you slip up and you hook up with someone, I had a guy do this, a boyfriend I loved like 10 years ago.
Proper bullshit.
Men that love is not what you see as love. It's like an infatuation feeling thing. It's not what you would describe as love per se.
Short. He left me for a stripper. But that's the thing. He's like, I slept with this girl down in Florida. And I was like, why are you telling me this? And he's like, what? I was like, when someone cheats, they're either never going to do it again or they're going to do it kind of all the time. So which of these categories you fall into? Because if you're never going to do it again, I didn't need to know about it.
Men, pay attention. That part was beautiful. Why? Do you see this man was trying to be honest with the woman? Because many men believe they should be this honest with a woman. The truth is, no, you don't. And it's for more men to understand. Some of you follow a routine that these women aren't following. Some of you are being more nice and gentle manly than these women are being ladylike. Lots of men don't understand it though, because they assume she is as honest as he is, as you are. Yeah? Pay attention. Oh, this is beautiful.
I don't need to know what impels your personal growth within this relationship, especially if it's something that's going to hurt me, because now it's a thing. Now it's a thing in the room that we have to think about, and I'm going to like picture and like blah, blah, blah. It becomes an unavoidable data point. But if you're going to do it all the time and you're going to leave me for her, I also didn't need to know. I didn't need to know. You could just leave and be on your way. And he's like, well, it's going to be that. I was like, great.
Now, men, for a second, think and wonder how many women have done what she just said.
Bingo. And before I forget, the video I borrowed my inspiration from is a voiceover by Replicanphish, and of course the woman is Shellen Lester. I think her content has changed a bit like now, because once again this is an old video, like at least 3 years ago. But as she was saying, this is how I believe when a lot of women leave men, unless if they're on like a social media show, you know, like The Bachelor or something, if they leave a man, what they're going to do is you will never know that he's the main reason that she's leaving you. It will be other reasons that pops up, like you don't make enough money, you're not ambitious enough, you don't have this and that, even though she knew you had this and that at the beginning, you know. But once the other dude came into the picture, then that became an issue. So that's something important to know. When a woman leaves you, just let her go, because she's already gone later. She's gone girl.
They've disappeared and ghosted.
I didn't need to know. You could just leave and be on your way.
Because of what she just said. That's why some men never have closure. There will never be closure. She found someone else, a new man to hop onto, and she did.
Thank you. You could have just dumped me. I didn't need to know that when I was texting you and saying all these things, you were sticking it into a stripper. Thanks. I shouldn't talk shit about strippers. You know I love strippers. Like
What, used to be one? Seriously, that came out too quickly.
Love them. But it's cliche. He was in a band. I'm just like, come on.
He was a guy in a band. You were dating him. You surprised other women like him for the same reason you liked him? Come on, Jesus Christ.
It's cliche. He was in a band. I'm just like, come on. She had like a kid she didn't have custody of. You methed out trash. She had like meth eyebrows. You know what I mean? You know when you see them. So you got to zip the lip. If you confess once, it's going to make it in terms of giving your behavior away. Now, like I said, when people cheat, there are shifts. They're on their phone a lot more. They're making like smiley faces. They're changing their passcode. Literally, if you're going to have a life of crime, you should get a second phone. And it's hard. You don't necessarily want to let them know that you are in a relationship. Like,
this is beautiful. This, oh my God, this is, I'm actually feeling something like love for the first time. Not for the woman. No. For the truth. The truth. It's beautiful, isn't it? If you've met a woman who her timing seems somewhat shifty, like you can only meet her or hook up with her at certain weird times. Exactly. That's because you're the side dude, but you don't know. Some know. Sometimes you don't know you're a side dude. Pay attention, men. And for the other side, those small moments of time when your woman disappears and you can't get in contact with her. Where is she? Where's she gone? Exactly. Two sides to every coin. Some men only one. Some men never notice these sides even exist.
If you can help it, because they can use that against you. Like, people will turn on you, they'll blackmail you. There's, this shit happens. Like, you don't want your mistress blowing up your life. You can do that on your own. So just be like, hey, when I'm home at night, I turn my phone off. Make it up. You're lying to one dude, lie to the other. Who cares?
Exactly my point. Exactly. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, more.
Because you need to keep information above and below, right? You need to keep information on a need-to-know basis, not just flowing out loosey-goosey and you don't know who knows what and blah, blah, blah. So establish some parameters before you go out like into this. Also, start having some new activities and have two. Well, you're actually going to only maybe have one.
Are you listening, men? Are you listening? So if your woman, your wife, gets a new activity, I'm not saying, but just kind of wonder why.
The second one is going to be a variable activity with a loosey-goosey schedule. So this is what I mean. Because scheduling is a big shift in terms of behavior. It's like she doesn't come home now and like, I don't know where she goes after school and blah, blah, blah. So you want to sign up for like two things. Say one's like a pottery class. Okay, you're doing pottery like every day after work. Then you're going to be like, oh, I'm also doing like CrossFit and like it's hard to get in. So sometimes the only classes are like 8 to 9. It's so annoying. And actually do that so that there's plausible, there's
exactly my point. She's talking about creating the evidence to seem as if you are improving on whatever activities it is you're doing.
a realism to your lies. You're coming home, you're sweaty or whatever. It's like your body's changing. You can like give normal accountable details because you're actually there.
Bullshit.
Sometimes, not all the time. But again, you want to pick something that the schedule kind of shifts, but not so wildly. It's like, oh, I went to CrossFit and I spent the night. No, like if that's what you need to do, if you want to have that big of a cheat where you're full on spending the night with another dude, you're going to have to escalate those lies accordingly. You're going to have
escalating lies. Oh, this is rich. This is so rich.
Have to travel for work. You're going to have to like go sleep with your sister sometimes. You're going to have to like your mysterious best friend, Perry, is like having some sort of like crisis and you have to sleep at her house 2 nights a week. Work smarter, not harder.
What did I say in one of my previous videos? Not all women, but a lot of women cheat just as much as men. Maybe they don't go full on intercourse, but they may go making out. They may go fellatio. They may go having that done to them, which is still cheating, of course, or even just like meeting up with somebody and sharing like tender moments, holding hands, that type of stuff. Or even if it's love letters back and forth. But I say that women cheat as much, but they are better at it than men. Men are sloppy and they usually don't know how to cover their tracks. So they usually get busted. Usually with, a woman walking in on him or something. Just food for thought.
Because then it's going to give you wiggle room if he gets suspicious. Be like, babe, I know. Just this class opened up. So it's like, I'm sorry. I'm going to go. I don't know why it's that big of a deal. Like it happened last week.
Proper garden tool.
Nice.
Get your boyfriend involved in things. If he's busy, he's not going to be paying as much attention to what it is you're doing, right? But, and this is truly evil. This is evil. Are you guys ready for it?
Oh, God.
You got to start gaslighting him. That is the tool of a cheater. Gaslighting. And so we know what gaslighting is. If you don't, it's based on this movie in the 40s called Gaslight.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Do I need to say anything?
My coffee table just started vibrating and that's a little worrisome. All right. Evil is here. Huh. And so this movie, and anyway, this guy like adjusts, this like shitty husband adjusts like the gas flames in the lamps to flicker. And the wife's like, these are flickering. He's like, no, they're not. Baby, maybe you're going crazy. Maybe we should commit you to institution and then I can get all of your inheritance.
Just like a woman.
Gaslighting. And so we are used to seeing gaslighting as like a guy calling you crazy, but really it is anyone who tells you that you are not observing what you are very much observing, right? So
Exactly, to make you think you're the crazy one.
I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of this. It's no, like it comes in a lot of forms. So try to employ it in as many different subtle and amorphous, right? And one thing cheaters always do.
They accuse you of doing something that they're doing themselves.
Whenever someone's been cheating on me, suddenly they accuse me a lot of like things that they themselves are guilty of.
This right here is true. This goes for either a man or a woman. I mean, it's one thing for a person just to calmly question, like, well, why are you going out this late? Or who was that on the phone? But if they explode and be like, who are you talking to? Are you trying to bang that girl? Or are you sleeping with that dude? Men or women, they are probably the ones that's cheating. Now, whoever's looking at this video right now, if the shoe fits, wear it. This was you in the relationship. You was always acting like this. So it was you. Whereas you was pointing at the other person or pointing at me or pointing at whoever. You was the one. Because you was the one always doing it. See, the things I wish I knew then, well, how that I know now, I wish I knew then. So, lesson learned.
Why were you talking to Garrett up in the pool for 2 hours? What were you guys doing? I'm like, we were literally doing nothing. You were at work. I don't know. That's because they're doing something bad. If your boyfriend starts to get suspicious, or even before he does, start to gaslight him. This is evil. Like, this is giving me a sick feeling in my chest because
You look like you're enjoying it though.
I don't like telling this.
Because it's the truth. You see, women aren't supposed to tell the truth, not to you. We're not supposed to know.
I want you to use this to spot people like this in your life. I don't want you to go out and cheat on people because, like I said, it splits you into two. It's really hard on yourself. And society doesn't love a cheater. That's not a fun thing to have to admit to other people or to yourself. It isn't. Like, you don't sleep great at night being like, I've cheated on people who trusted me.
Well, that's when you actually have a conscience, But for some people, ignorance is bliss.
And it's awful to be cheated on, But at least when you're cheated on, you're the victim. When you're the cheater, you're the bad guy. And not in like the fun Billie Eilish way.
And some women like being bad guys because many women like bad boys. Does that make sense? Water does seek its own level. Trash does seek other trash.
Really sucky way. So, yeah, throw your boyfriend off kilter. Where have you been? Who were you with? I don't know. Who's this chick Natalie you work with? I don't know. You're like always talking about her. Well, why fine? Just go out with her. I don't care. Then he's going to feel minimized, which is how we feel when people gaslight us. And he's going to be less likely to speak up if he sees you doing something wrong, right? So again, this is what we need to look for when we think somebody is cheating on us. Let's see, what else? Who are cheating? Just be single. Just be single. And if you don't want to be, then you really can't be selfish like this and drag people down because you know what? You're going to fuck up this dude for the next chick. And you're probably like, I don't care about the next chick, but you are the next chick for somebody else. So we all need to start being a little bit more accountable and stop doing really crappy things because we're creating shitty dudes. We are creating
supervillains. Yes. You females out there and bad women, you are creating Superman villains out there. And the same thing with the males and the bad men. You are creating super bad females out there. So, I don't know. I agree with her with this. Just stay single. That's why I don't know why sports athletes that have like tons of women diving at them or stuff, they stay single. I may have somewhat issues with Drake because he gets a lot of female attention and he's constantly swimming in women. But however, he doesn't get attached to too many women. I think the only one, well, it's two, is one that had a baby with him that I think that's why he started putting hot sauce in the condom. And then it was also Rihanna. But for the most part, he has stayed single. And whatever he's doing, he's doing. But However, like I would say, like, yeah, he may as well, until he totally gets that out of his system, he should never get married. And that's why I would say with women that are in that 304 stage, just stay out there. Now, the only thing, women will still take him because they like how he looks and his money. But a woman that has been out there and we know she's out there, what incentive for us to take them? The only way, maybe, and that's only if she didn't do prom, I might would take one. Is if she doesn't have kids with that, because on top of being with a lot of guys, she's gonna have certain type of traumas with that, and plus, I have to deal with certain type of things. Has she been with guys that's like Shaquille O'Neal size, and I'm not that tall, and I'll know once we be intimate if, for instance, is real loose down there, you know, and that does happen. That's sometimes how a guy knows that woman has cheated on him, if the guy she was with is a lot huger than what he is. So, anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know this one was kind of long, but uh I shortened it as much as I could. So, have a good night.
You break the rules. Look out! To become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
I still wanna run to you.